To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
The outlook will obviously be very bad. The only question is whether it will be a disaster or whether it will be even worse than that, and I would call it a catastrophe. This is obviously the biggest increase in unemployment since the Great Depression in 1929. It really depends upon whether the US government starts to respond in a more rational way. Some parts of the United States, for example, Los Angeles or New York, are responding rather sensibly. The Trump administration, unfortunately, is doing completely stupid things. It's encouraging people who are protesting against the lockdown, and it's ridiculously attempting to claim that China is responsible for this, whereas the US had 2 months to prepare for. So there's actually really quite a big fight going on inside the United States. Unfortunately, the trend is very, very bad. But if you've got the number of deaths in the United States in proportion to the population, as the situation is more than 30 times as bad in China. I hope sense will prevail with the Trump administration, but unfortunately it doesn't seem so at present. Instead of concentrating on protecting the US population, it's blaming China, it's immigrants. Trump's big announcement is there's going to be a ban on immigration to the US, but that's not the problem. It's not immigrants who are bringing the coronavirus into the US. They've got a huge domestic outbreak. The situation in the US is very bad, and how bad it will get will depend upon whether the Trump administration adjusts its present terrible policies. No, it is much, much too early. China's policy for dealing with the coronavirus is very clear. You have to get the number of domestic transmissions down to zero, or as close to zero as you can get. I mean, China's averaging less than 10 domestic cases per day. That means you can control that because you can trace everybody who's got it, right? But the US attempted to open up its economy when there are thousands of cases a day. And we know what happens. The coronavirus spreads exponentially. Let's say there's 10 cases a day. Each person's in contact with 20 people. That means you've got to trace 200 people. A country can do that. But if you've got 20 people a day and there's 5,000 cases a day, you've got to trace 100,000 people. And this is impossible. It is absolutely absurd, opening up of the US economy at the present time. We've got to distinguish two things. The structural feature of the situation, peculiarity in the futures market. Structurally, because this is such a very large decline in the global economy, since the Great Depression, the fundamental price of oil is falling very much. But the second thing, there's a peculiarity of the futures market, which is that you had to accept delivery of 1,000 barrels of US oil yesterday if you wanted to continue with your future. Most people can't store 1,000 barrels of oil. Therefore, they had to sell it to pay other people to sell it. So let's not pay too much attention to the negative value price. But the key thing is that the price of the barrel of oil is very, very low. This reflects the huge downturn in the world economy. It's going to be good for countries with big oil input, but for oil-producing countries, it will be disastrous. Some of them, such as Russia or Saudi Arabia, have very big reserves, foreign exchange reserves. They'll be able to survive for some months. But for others, it's going to have a disastrous effect. This will have very big, not merely economic, but it'll have very big geopolitical consequences. So I would focus rather on the very low general price of oil rather than the negative one. We'll see whether it comes back in June or not, but it's a very serious structural trend in the world.